Welcome back. It's your best friends. It's Austin
And it's Sean.
Yes, and it's the 21st episode.
That's right, baby.
So
Woo.
that means that the podcast is old enough to drink. It's of drinking age. So that's why we've got our adult beverages for the first time and
podcast
probably
history.
Only time. Maybe first time in podcast history, that's for sure. So I'm going to try to get a nice.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if anyone heard anything. Tried to make it satisfying. So what are you sipping on there? What are you sipping on there, Sean?
I'm sipping on a Cabernet wine.
Glass of wine here. He's Rodney, the richest man in the world.
That's what they call me. That's my internet handle, at richest man in the world on Twitter.
And what's do you have a last name, or is it just richest man in the world? That's it.
In the world, Mr. In the World is actually what I go by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And your best friend is Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just for the name though. That's it.
Oh, okay. Understood.
We're not close. What are you drinking on?
I'm drinking on an Angry Orchard classic. I really like Angry Orchard. I think it's great. It also is gluten-free. So I don't eat
We're not
gluten.
Sponsored.
No, we're not.
It sounds like
That'd
a sponsorship,
great.
But
it is gluten-free though. So if you're looking for a gluten-free beverage, I'm sure that wine is too.
It is. It sure is. It would. I can't imagine we would do this again until we're doing more in-person podcasts. Probably.
Yeah, I agree. Or number 42
and guests. 42, our second legal age.
Second legal age.
Yeah.
That's right. Also, I heard the 21st episode of a podcast. You're like in the 1% of amount of episodes for most podcasts. So most people have quit by now. So in terms of longevity and and amount of episodes, we are definitely persistent. Yeah. So
wait, 21 specifically?
Yeah. I showed an article, like I think it was just to you off camera.
Okay.
Like 50% or something stop after the first episode. So it's a lot of like one-off episodes. And then like 75 have quit by 10 episodes. And then like 99% of podcasts are done by episode 20. So they don't even get to 21.
Hey man, the consistency is huge. So, I mean, we had like 1 week where we fell off, and it's like the one where we came back was like the worst, I think, worst performing one.
Yeah. Right? By a long shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
so
interesting.
YouTube respects the grind.
That's right. And we do too. And that's why we're enjoying. A drink.
Very true.
On this episode.
Speaking of YouTube's respecting the grind, I started my own YouTube channel. That was how my week went. So before you ask, yeah, I started uploading videos to my own page. So we talk about me and Sean off camera and on camera, probably, I can't remember, talk about just being uncomfortable. And if we're too comfortable for too long, it's like, this is wrong. I'm not growing, not getting better at anything. So I decided to get really uncomfortable and make some YouTube videos all by myself. So just in this room talking.
How'd it feel? How'd it feel to just sit and talk to a
camera? It's so weird because I talk a lot and I don't ever really feel like the jitters or the nerves. Maybe just like a little bit at the beginning of like a music season where with like a big amount of people in the room. I don't know a lot of them, but I think that's just like straight up just me just being jazzed. Like I'm super excited because it's like, oh my God, this is the commencement of a season. But man, I was like shook. I was shook. It was tough. Even like when we talk like this, I'm kind of looking at the screen because I have it. Anyway, I'm not looking directly into a camera lens. Yeah. So I looked directly into a camera lens. That was a little weirder. Not having that time right there, I didn't want that to happen whenever I was recording.
Pause to think.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to take a sec to think.
Did you have a couple of takes?
I only had 2. So I took one, I got about 2 minutes in and I was like, this ain't it.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. And then I did the second, that's the one I posted was the second one.
Okay.
And I didn't do any edits or anything. I made a thumbnail. I texted one of our friends, Logan. I was like, look how artsy I am.
Yeah, I saw that.
He didn't say good job. He just said LOL.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That was the first thing I noticed. You sent that to me, and I was like, "Damn, you got like the thumbnail and everything."
I even made a thumbnail. I was like, if I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it.
I was like, that's more than what I've done for our podcast because I literally just smack a number on these bitches. It's just like, I think it's like whatever the default font is. Like that's as far as I went. Made it italicized, but no, that's good, dude. I'm happy for you. Everybody go watch it. We'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments. That's a good idea. So yeah. I'll be posting more on there.
What do you talk about?
I'm excited. Personal development, some finance, some entrepreneurship, all the fun stuff.
Cool.
I would like get more niche with it, but I don't know. I talk about all those other niche things so much that I feel like I would get burnt out. Like if I did drums or something, I feel like I would get kind of bored.
Yeah.
Because I teach lessons and talk to people about drums all the time, but I don't really get an outlet to tell people how I feel about like finance and like raw, just personal development topics. Yeah. So that's the plan.
It's exciting. I'm excited to see more of it.
Yes. It's going to get better. You know, Ali Abdal, or I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I love his channel. His channel's great.
He's man, it's great.
He is so good at what he does. And I think he's like one of the few, let me back up. It's going to sound rough what I was about to say. I think a lot of people that fall into like the kind of videos that he makes can be not as positive as he is. Like, I think he's a genuinely happy person. And
yeah, no, I agree.
He's very good at what he does. And he like definitely uses the stuff that he preaches. Like it's pretty incredible. Like, I think he's a very genuine person. When I watch him, he's great.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think, he makes like, I would say it's 90% like personal development stuff, right? Would you agree with that? Yeah. I don't want to do 90%. That's, I don't know. I'm not that like jazzed about it. Like when it gets into like productivity tips, I think most of that is like chasing your own tail. Like it gets to a point where you're trying so hard to be more productive that all you're doing is being productive about being productive. And then you don't get anything
productivity done. Recursion, baby.
Yeah, you were talking about that on the podcast recently. Yeah, that's so,
I think that was the Lost podcast.
Oh my God, we got to post that. It's horrible. We got to put a disclaimer. It's bad. The audio is so bad. The conversation was good, but
yeah.
Anyway, we're getting way off topic. How was your week?
It was not great.
Dude, I'm having deja vu, but like opposite. Like you asked me this question like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, dude, not great.
Not good. That's exactly right, because I had a strep throat, so that was not fun.
Like you're swallowing razor blades.
That's definitely what it felt like. I went to Charleston with Devin to work, and we were just hanging out, and I started to feel my throat like not feel good, and I was like, where's this going? And so I went to sleep, and then I woke up and I had a fever, and I was like, oh God. So we drove back, came home, pretty much went straight to bed and like slept for like 2 hours. Still had a fever, felt like horrible. Ended up going to the doctor. I didn't think it was like anything like strep, flu, COVID. I didn't think it was any of that stuff, but I went to the doctor, and he was like, you have strep. So yeah, they were like, this was the craziest part of the week, because I had never heard of this until this one of it. Have you ever had strep, first of all?
I've had it once.
Oh, do you see my lighting? That is really weird.
What is up with your lights?
I want to just cover up my camera for a second. What is going on? That was weird. That was crazy.
If you're on Spotify, come to YouTube so you can see Sean's lights just go haywire.
I just had like a rave in here. That was
yes.
Nice. Have you had strep before? Sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, once. Yeah.
Okay. They normally give you like antibiotics to take and like steroids to take for the swelling.
Okay.
And I had strep a lot when I was younger, and that's like always what they gave me. And I haven't had strep in a while. And I came back in, and the guy told me, he was like, you can have that, or I can give you 2 shots right now. You won't have to take any meds, and you'll feel good in like a day and a half. And I was like, what? I like looked around. I was like, is there a negative to this? And he's like, I mean, you're not allergic to any medications, right? And I was like, no. He's like, no. And I was like, what? Okay. And so I did that. So I got 2 shots. And Tuesday, hold on, let's see. That was Sunday night. Tuesday, I started feeling like pretty much close to normal. Like I'm still tired
Wow.
and like I have like a tiny little sore throat, but like it like went away like really quickly. And the same night I stopped having like fevers and stuff. So
What did it give you?
I don't know. I had never heard of that being a thing for
I
strep
mean,
throat
maybe he
before.
still gave you a steroid.
No, no, no. Okay, it was antibiotics and a steroid, but it just like what it wasn't the like in pill form, like
Okay,
taken
so I
orally.
had there. We took the cat to the vet. She had like this. You remember she had like a cut on her leg or something,
Yeah.
and it got like infected, and we took her to the vet. Yeah, well, that's what they did. They like cleaned up the spot. They drained it or whatever, and then they were like, "All right, we gave her some antibiotics," and I was like, "Okay, cool. We got to get the script filled, right?" And she was like, "No, no,
Just a
we
shot.
inject. Yeah, we just injected them." And I said, "So I have to like give her. I have to inject this cat with." And they were like, "No, no, it's just this little thing. It's like slow release, and it over time it just like releases the right amount, and then she'll be good." And I was like, "Dang, that's
Yeah.
cool."
Yeah, that's exactly what
I,
yeah, that's exactly what they gave me.
that excites me because one of the reasons that people hate a lot of antibiotics is the oral antibiotics because they like destroy your gut because
Mm.
like you're not trying to kill something in your gut, but it's definitely going to. Like factually, it definitely kills a lot of gut bacteria, and that's why people get like intestinal upset and stuff. So that's exciting. I would be more open. I mean, I don't know. Did they test you for strep? That's another question I had.
Yeah, they tested me for strep.
Okay, and it was positive.
Yeah. Dude like
Yeah,
came back and he was like, yeah, it didn't like normally we leave it on there for like 8 minutes, but it came back like immediately positive. And I was like, hey. So I don't know how any of that works, but um
interesting.
yeah, I had strep. And it was also the worst shot I've ever gotten. I don't get like that many shots, but like
Where
it
was it?
was painful. So it was right in like my hip.
Yeah, yeah, like above your butt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a thick needle. It did not feel good. It was
Damn.
not fun. But
Worst shot I ever got was a Toradol shot. I don't know what, it's some kind of painkiller. And like I went to my general practitioner, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna send you to the." This was a long time ago. He was like, "We're gonna send you to the ER, just to check on this, that, and that. But do you want like some pain meds in the meantime?" And I was like, "Sure." He was like, "All right, cool. Let me get you a shot of Toradol." And I was like, "Sweet, sounds great." Holy crap, dude! That
painful.
was a super painful shot. Yeah, like I felt like I was being stabbed with a acid knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. But I mean, it helps
Help.
with the pain.
Well, that's good.
Helps with the
Um,
pain.
yeah. But
Dude,
yeah. Oh,
nah, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was my week. I'm tired, still recovering,
Yeah.
working,
Well,
but that was my week. Pretty
still
much.
grinding.
Still grinding.
Respect. Um, this is just random. I saw a Dave Asprey like video where he was saying, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on this. He was saying we probably under medicate for uh like short term pain. Like let's say we had a surgery and something's really painful. Like we probably are not willing to take the meds we need to take enough in those moments. And we probably over medicate like chronic pain. So like if you have I don't know, your back hurts or something, we're probably too quick to take Tylenol. But to reiterate on the other side of the coin, something slightly more traumatic or much more traumatic that's much more painful, we're a lot less likely to take like the oxycodone or whatever the case may be. What do you think about that? You agree or disagree?
I think that's probably true. I think it's because of a lot of perception of risk, especially with stuff like painkillers for like big incidents, because there tends to be a lot of issue with like that leading into addiction and being addicted to like other things. But
Yeah.
yeah, chronic pain of just like you're talking about just like everyday pain, right? Like
Yeah, just everyday
backaches,
pain.
neck pain. Yeah, like I mean, there are people that put down, you know, Advil like it's nobody's business, like it's candy.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
dude.
like
It
that's
says so
so
clearly on the bottle, like, hey, this causes liver damage. Please don't take.
yeah. I mean, there's
Every
things that
now
you
and then.
can do long term that's probably going to fix the thing that you're trying to fix.
Yeah.
that isn't taking Advil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do some yoga and eat some good food. It's like the better medicine for a lot of the chronic stuff. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there might be bigger issues, but I don't know. Or like more anti-inflammatory, like, turmeric, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as the other side of the coin, I don't know. Probably depends. It depends on the person. Like some people might be afraid to take stuff like that, and then some people would way overindulge in
Yeah. That's fair.
whatever it is they're taking.
I normally don't take the harder pain meds. I don't really take the lighter pain meds either, but not because I love pain, just because I'm not super excited about the
It's
not super
fun.
excited about the yeah, the benefits outweighing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Heard too many bad stories on both sides. So
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
get that. I'll take Advil and Tylenol and stuff like that, but I'm very, very like aware when it's like, I took this 6 hours ago. Do I really need to, do I need to take more? Or I've been taking this for 2 days straight. I should probably stop. Like, is this actually helping me? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah,
fair point.
those are my thoughts on it.
Anyway, I got an article. I just
Let's
wanted to
go.
get your thought on that.
Yeah, that's
You want
interesting.
to do the YouTube thing while I pull this up?
The YouTube thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the YouTube thing.
Yeah. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, comment.
I have bad news, Sean.
You don't have an article?
I don't have sharing privileges.
Oh, I forgot. I can
I
do
have
that.
sharing privileges. Yeah, like
You
and
should.
subscribe.
You
Got some
should
great
now.
comments on our most recent videos. We love the comments.
We read all. We read all of them. So
Speaking of comments, I want to do something later for our thought of the week. I'm
okay.
gonna share my screen. Oh yeah, we're gonna start the broadcast. Oh yeah. All right. Uh-oh.
Hey.
Uh-oh. Okay, there. Whoa, hold on.
Whoa. Hey.
Most important. Most important. Sean, do
Wow.
you know this website?
What is this?
This is
This
cloudmusicsuite.com.
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 Is
This
it?
is your home for private music
I
lessons.
was just about to ask if it was my home
You
for
were
private
about to
music
ask,
lessons.
weren't you?
Damn. All right.
Yeah. So you can do virtual or in person, grow from the comfort of your home. You know the deal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I bet it's been around
beautiful
since
stuff.
1885.
Roughly, yeah, somewhere around
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
cloudmusicsuite.com, go learn an instrument and get smarter. All
I
right,
like
here's
it.
my article for the day. It's from currentresults.com.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Currentresults.com. This is most humid cities in the United States. This was not my original idea, but it does play into a question that I think I asked you or you asked me. Where would you like to live?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and some of my picks were Florida, Texas, and then somewhere up north. But I also hate humid weather.
Humidity.
So we'll just remember that I said those three things. So most humid cities. Uh 10 most humid American major cities. Oh, I don't know if this is high or not, but it sounds high. I'm just gonna act like it's high. Averages of 72.5% year-round humidity. That's wild. This was between 1961 and 1990. So,
Okay.
average humidity by city, number one at the very tip top is New Orleans, Louisiana. Have you ever been to New Orleans?
I've not.
I have, and I can confirm that it is absolutely disgustingly humid. I
I
went
was
in
gonna
the
say I would have
heat of the
guessed.
summer, bro. It's bad.
Really?
Yeah, dude, horrible.
I could have guessed that. The
I
number two, I definitely could have guessed.
went to see a friend I marched with. I think four of us went down there, and we all marched on the same snare line. And he was the one who lived in New Orleans, or he actually lived in Biloxi, which is not in Louisiana, I don't think. But anyway, not the point. We went down there and ended up going to New Orleans, ate some food, drank some drinks while walking around because there's no open container law. Anyway, grossly humid. I don't like it. But the next one down, Jacksonville, Florida.
Now this is somewhere that you would consider living.
Yeah, this is somewhere I was gonna consider living. I don't know now, bro. That's gross,
Yeah,
dude.
Florida can get pretty bad with the humidity.
Yeah, I've only been there maybe 4 times, but I do remember it was extremely humid every time.
Yeah.
Houston, Texas is next. That's very surprising to me.
That's surprising to me too. I know Texas gets pretty humid, but like I think it's like 50% humidity. I thought is
I
what
mean,
I
it
would have
must be
guessed on average.
specifically Houston. Like, I don't know what it is about Houston. I'm not a geography expert, but
Yeah,
it must be closer to the ocean.
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. More Florida.
That's the top three. So Louisiana, Florida, Texas, three different cities in those states. And then number four and number five and number eight are all in Florida. So Orlando, Tampa, and Miami are in the top 10. And then San Francisco, California, the Bay Area, that's up there. I did not know that.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that either.
I thought it was supposed to be like perfect weather. That's why I always hear, oh, it's perfect weather all the time.
It's
Doesn't sound
definitely
very perfect to
not
me.
as I definitely would not have pegged it as like one of the top humid places. I don't know. That's interesting.
No, me neither.
Huh. Seattle
And
checks out.
then, yeah,
It
Seattle.
rains a lot there, right?
That's what I've heard. And then Portland, Oregon, that also makes sense. Rochester, New York, I would not have guessed that in a million years. So that's somewhere up north. I would never want to live in New York just for income tax purposes alone.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Rochester, New York's at the top 10. Yeah. Oh my God. Houston,
Jeez.
Texas at 6 a.m. has the highest humidity, apparently, based on this study. Almost
No. That's
90%.
the highest at each of those cities' times.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
it's like
Yeah.
4 a.m. It's the highest humidity at like 89.2 in Florida and Orlando.
Well, at least they're all in the morning. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not going out and doing things at 6 a.m.
it's
in my
fair.
house.
The low humidity in the morning is, I mean, when you get that, that's pretty nice because like you can live somewhere that's hot and it could be like 60 degrees and it would be so nice. You could sit out there with like sweatpants. You know what I mean?
Dang.
Like,
Dude, I thought North Carolina was humid. Like I thought today was a pretty relatively humid day.
yeah.
No, 31%.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Really?
that was today. I mean, I don't know about the average. Let's see. I'm gonna take a quick Google search on it. Let's see.
Interesting.
NC average humidity. What do you think? Take a guess. What's going to be the? Oh, it's pretty high actually.
I would have guessed somewhere in the 70s or 80s.
It's just barely in the 70s. 70.6 is the whole state of North Carolina.
Wow. Huh.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
North Carolina gets
I
pretty
don't know
humid.
what rank that is, but yeah, I always feel like we were talking about comparing it to like New Mexico.
Yeah.
Good God, it's so much more humid here than New Mexico.
So does knowing this information change your opinion of where you'd live?
I mean, I think so. Dude, I do not want to go somewhere humid. I don't want to.
So if you had to like replace, well, I mean, you'd still probably go somewhere in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'd still go somewhere, just
Just
not
not
Houston.
Houston, probably closer to like Mexico or closer to,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. What about Florida? What would you replace Florida with in that top three that you gave? If you had to, or if if you have an answer.
I mean, this kind of is like a not good answer, but I would probably just replace it with Tennessee.
Mm,
It's not super far away. It's like it's the neighboring state to North Carolina, so it's not that far away from where we are now.
yeah.
But it's a lot better tax treatment, and I like how the state government's run there better than I do North Carolina.
I don't really know
So
anything about their state government stuff.
should look it up. It's
I'm
interesting.
interested. Um, Still pretty humid though, isn't it? I mean, it's definitely not as bad as Florida, but
I mean, it's more mountainous, I think.
yeah,
So I would say it's probably less humid. I don't know.
that's fair. Huh.
Let's see. If Tennessee has a higher humidity, I'm gonna rage. No, it's lower. It's lower by like 1%.
Okay.
I've got the list up here on my phone. I'm not sharing it on my iPad, but
Got it.
yeah.
Interesting.
So what were your biggest surprises on that one?
So San Francisco, I'm actually pretty surprised about. I don't know why. I feel like when I've been to San Francisco, I never really thought of it as being humid. Um, I guess maybe certain parts of it. I don't know. San Francisco is pretty big. Uh, I think that's the only thing that like maybe surprised me. Everything else is pretty on brand. Um,
Houston surprised me.
Houston. I'm trying to think about geographically where Houston is on the
I know
Texas map,
nothing, so I'm just not even gonna act like I know.
but
You
like
know,
I'm just gonna Google Houston,
yeah,
Texas, see where it is on the map. But yeah, I mean Texas is big, and there's definitely a lot. Most of it is probably not that humid, but
yeah.
it would make sense that some part of it is humid. Maybe not the most humid. Maybe that surprises me.
No, I agree. Let's get a quick website review before I stop sharing my screen.
You
Quick
can
website review.
see like I mean,
There's like a rant, but look at this random ad at the very beginning. Like I was so confused.
wait,
I thought
random
they were.
ad.
You don't
Oh,
see
like
that?
the Etsy thing?
Yeah. Like no,
Oh,
no. That like what is this
oh,
color and food chart? Like what? Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
that is pretty weird.
I thought that was part of the article at first, so that gets at least 2 points off.
Yeah, I want to give it like a 4.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a 4.
Like I know what I'm reading,
Yeah,
and there's no
it's
like
kind of
crazy
just text on
pop-ups
a
or
page.
anything, but it's like I don't know.
Pretty
The
bad.
design isn't good. The
Very
ads are still there.
2005.
Yeah, exactly.
It
I
says
wonder.
enhanced by Google up there at the top. That's very 2005.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
See that?
It's like a little plug-in.
Yeah, it's
Like
wild.
nobody made that. Oh yeah, Houston's like right next to the water. That makes sense. That's right next to the
Yeah,
Gulf of Mexico.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Would that change any of your picks
I don't even remember what my
for
picks
your
were.
man?
Austin, Texas, Phoenix, and no, I chose some pretty dry places.
Yeah, you did choose some pretty dry places. Damn.
On purpose, I would say. uh, yeah, I mean Austin still gets pretty humid. I think.
Yeah, I do, man.
Yeah, geez, you get pretty humid, dude.
Ah.
Crazy. Some of my team that I work with, most of my team actually that I work with is based out of Austin.
Nice.
And they say that. So I think today like was 100, but I think the humidity was like 40 something. So, I mean, it's definitely not as bad as like here most of the time.
Yeah,
So I would definitely still live there. And then Phoenix, I mean, that's dry. I love that kind of dry heat. And then Denver, Colorado, I mean, that's going to be nice for a lot of reasons.
for sure.
Weather-wise, mountains, sunshine all the time. I think that'll be nice. I don't know. Are you a rain person? You like the rain? I think we had this
No,
conversation.
no, I don't like the rain. I don't like gloomy days either. So
Yeah,
like,
I don't like gloomy
what is
days.
it like? Is it Chicago or something that's like super gloomy all the time? Is that
Yeah.
the city?
Oh,
Or
maybe
no, maybe I'm
Seattle.
wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's Seattle. Yeah. So there's one that's like historically high in like suicide rates, and apparently
I think
the
it's
most
Seattle.
the best idea that people have for why is because of the lack of sunshine. So everyone's like depressed.
Yeah.
It's not like seasonal affective depression or whatever, or seasonal affective disorder. It's like all the time affective disorder.
I
So
heard that so Seattle, if it's Seattle or whatever the city we're talking about, I think it's Seattle. But Seattle, it like rains a lot and it's very gloomy. I heard, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or just like an idea that a lot of like the bigger tech companies will like host their HQs like in or around Seattle because of that, because people will spend more time inside and will spend more time working because there's not much to do outside.
yikes.
Yikes.
If big tech doesn't have enough bad going for it already, there's another.
Yeah, right.
Always under the microscope, man.
Like
They're always getting trashed.
I don't remember who all's like headquartered there, but I think there's some big names. But
Did you hear that tech had the biggest job losses in the most recent quarter?
really,
Yeah.
that surprises
Of
me.
all the sectors, tech had the biggest.
Dang.
Because basically what was the idea was a lot of demand for tech we'll just say, and the products those tech companies make was just pulled forward. So it was like, okay, we're still going to be growing next year, so we got to make sure that we hire up and we get everyone ready so that we can build for our demand, but the demand hasn't been there.
So it's like a lot of
So
prep for
yeah,
nothing. Ah,
a lot of prep, and all these, this transitions into our next thing I want to talk about. A lot of cryptocurrency brokerages and companies, they hire software developers because crypto is very intertwined with software because it is software. They have cut so many employees. And like I heard this one thing that was I can't remember what article it was. I should have pulled that one up. It said uh, Coinbase offer gets revoked basically. So they gave him an offer letter. They said, "Hey, come work here." He got an offer at Tesla, I believe, and then
Oh, for an employee.
yeah, for an employee. I believe he got an offer at Tesla and then somewhere else that was like very, very promising company to work at. But he went with Coinbase because maybe the compensation was a little better. Maybe he got more restricted stock units or whatever the case may be. So he took the offer letter. He was like, "Yeah, I'm going to come work for you starting on this date." They took the offer letter away. They said, "Oh no, just kidding. Like we're not going to hire you." So now he's out of a job, has all this student debt that's coming due, and now he's just looking. Thought he
Dang,
was thought he
dude.
was locked down with Coinbase,
That
and now he's not.
sucks.
Bad, dude.
It is.
Bad situation.
It's getting bad.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, I was telling our mutual friend who has an internship that, like, if he gets an offer at the end of this,
Take it.
might be smart to take it.
Just take it.
Like immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it right now.
It's getting brutal.
I know. Yeah, take what you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my next question for you. Since you're intertwined, you're a software engineer. I think that's been established on the podcast already.
Yeah.
Very much intertwined in the tech space. Since you have that background, give me your general thoughts on just cryptocurrencies as a whole.
I think,
and we can break it down into two. We can break it down into two different categories if you want, or do you just want to go for it?
Well, let me just go for it first.
Yeah.
So I'll say, for one, I don't own any cryptocurrency. I don't. I'm not bought into Bitcoin. I'm not bought into Ethereum or Ethereum. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm not bought into any cryptocurrencies. I think that like blockchain technology is interesting and important, and I think it could revolutionize like how payment is handled over the internet, and I think that's a good thing and a good innovation to exercise. I don't think it's a good investment for personal finance to invest your money in cryptocurrency, as its value is not really determined by much of anything except for what people buying into it say it is. It doesn't bring any kind of utility to anything. There's no data you can pour over to suggest why it may or may not go down. It doesn't make any sense to me. As far as like an investment, it's all made up. And if you think, in my opinion, if you think you're going to guess a rise or a dip in something like that, you're not going to. You don't have investor calls to listen to. You don't have a history of a whole company history to look at, and a whole, like, taking a look at a whole industry to be able to say, like, this is how this cryptocurrency is going to perform. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, that's kind of my view on it. I don't know a lot of the specifics about blockchain technology, and of how, like, what differentiates between like each cryptocurrency. But that's kind of my view on it.
Yeah, without getting into the weeds, which I can't get into the weeds, but I do know, I feel strongly at least that yes, blockchain is going to be the way that transactions are settled in the finance space in the next X amount of years. I don't know if it's going to take another decade or if it's going to take more than that, but I can almost guarantee it's not going to be with Bitcoin. It's not going to be with Ethereum. It's not going to be with Dogecoin or any of the other ridiculousness. There's all kinds of, so many. They're made every day, and they're all pump and dump schemes, which means someone hypes it up. You pay people to hype it up. Those people get in really low. They pump the price really high because a bunch of fools buy in. The people that were whales who had a bunch of money sell out, and then all the little guys get left holding the bag and they lose all their money. Absolutely 100% illegal. That is why Jordan Belfort went to prison, who is the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
Very frustrating. So I agree with you from an investment standpoint, complete and utter garbage. Like, it is truly the greater fool theory, meaning you're waiting for a greater fool to buy this at a higher price from you because there is no value. When you say, how do you value a cryptocurrency? You don't, because there is no value. There's no way to value it. There's no company infrastructure behind these tokens, these little internet tokens.
Yeah.
There's no employees. There's no product. Your camera's doing the thing
My
again.
camera, what is going on? Dude, that is so weird.
I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it's like halfway plugged in and it's just spazzing out.
I think it's like trying to auto adjust and it just doesn't know what to do. It's like,
You gotta close your blinds or something.
okay. That's
Yeah.
something.
There you go.
I like it.
Still doing it a little bit, but anyway. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the future of financial settlement is no longer going to be the ACH transfer. Yeah. It's no longer going to be a wire transfer. It's going to be on the blockchain.
It's going to be on the blockchain. Yeah,
I
agree with that.
That doesn't mean you should invest in the freaking coins. Okay. It doesn't mean you should try to become a millionaire with these little coins and try to guess the bottom. Like I hear all the time, like, oh, well, it's down, so I'm going to buy because it's going to go up. Because it's going to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's probably gonna. Like that's it. Well, this guy might buy, and then that's called a pyramid scheme.
That's true.
So,
well, if I buy enough,
maybe there's gonna be a Bitcoin ETF someday. I'm like, okay, well, you're still a pyramid scheme. Like, well, that's what's gonna push it to 100,000. And then I hear all the time, well, it's never gonna drop below its previous lows. Well, guess what? Last week it dropped below its previous lows or previous highs. I meant to say previous highs. It's just pure ridiculousness to me.
I will say that it is nice. It's probably not the best way that it should have been done, but what it being a thing that you can invest in, what it has done, I think, is it allowed for the technology to innovate probably at a faster rate. Like we probably have a better understanding of blockchain and how all of this works better because of this blowing up and turning into an investment thing, which is it sucks, but it's cool, I guess. I mean, yeah, that's.
I think yeah, I agree. I think the big winners out of this is not. I guess this is a hot take or a prediction. I think the big winners are going to be two already established payment companies, PayPal and Square. That's who I think is gonna like run the gamut on financial settlement in the future, and I think they're really going to be able to make it something.
Yeah.
I could be like, I don't think, Coinbase, it's always going to be this niche thing where you trade these phony tokens and then they collect a fee spread on that,
Things like Stripe too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know how if Stripe
payment
is into, any type of blockchain or anything, but
there's a company called Circle, I think, that is similar to Stripe, but it's specifically for blockchain. So that could lead into that. So
yeah, or Stripe could just acquire them.
Yeah, that too.
Stripe's beastly, man.
Stripe is beastly. Stripe is powering a lot of the internet marketplaces.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
Most of the freelance economy is powered by Stripe.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the gig economy is like mostly that. Like I think Lyft is run on Stripe, probably Uber too.
I know another great company that's run by Stripe, but anyway.
I had another point. Oh, well, I have half the point. If maybe I'll get the other half if I keep talking. If a lot of people will look at just like regular stocks and say like people who don't understand how the stock market works, and they'll say like that's scammy too. Like it's the same thing. It's the same game. It's like no, it's not because crypto is built. You can go down multiple layers of crypto, and at a point it ends, and there's not that many layers until you get to that point.
Not that many layers.
The stock market is like there's a company at the bottom of that chain, and there's a history, and there's statements, and there's innovation.
There's earnings. There's revenue.
Yeah, there's so many layers that build up what like stock actually means. Like sure, memes and weird stuff like what happened to GameStop can happen, but that's like a small variable in what is actually going on.
I would say that's maximum like a once in a decade, like silly news cycle hype thing.
Yeah. Or even like I think it was like Tesla's stock like tanked after he like smoked weed on Joe Rogan's podcast or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like still, like whatever it was before and what it was after was built on this history of what Tesla has produced and like what people
Yes.
are actually buying into, because people are
Yes.
buying into Tesla not because of that or selling because of that.
I agree. And I've heard people say like, "Oh, well, you're still gambling when you're in the stock market." No, you're not gambling. You is not a gamble to say, "I'm looking at this entire industry as a whole, and this company inside of this industry, one, is growing at a faster pace in terms of revenue and earnings than their peers. That's a standout feature. And two, they're trading at a lower multiple than their peers, meaning you're paying less for the amount of value you're getting. So less dollars for more value. That's an undervalued company. If
Yeah.
you buy into that undervalued company, there's a high percentage chance, even if they just stay on the exact same trajectory they're on, no more innovation, the market is going to end up respecting the fact that that company is supposed to be valued like its peers,
Yeah.
or even at a premium to its peers. You know what I mean? That kind of arbitrage, you could do that all day, every day. You can do that kind of arbitrage, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Can you do that kind of arbitrage in cryptocurrency? No. Why did it go down? I don't know why it went down. No one knows why it went down because it's a scam.
Yeah. That's true. Why did it
And
go
a
down? Because
scam
people
for
sold. Well,
anyone,
why did people sell?
exactly, because they did, because they got
Because
scared.
they
That's
did.
yeah. And just so when I say the word scam, I say that word a lot more than I should. If you just look up what scam means, it's a fraudulent scheme. That's what crypto is. Crypto is a fraudulent scheme. That's how I feel. Anyway, or a dishonest scheme,
Yeah. The stock market
promising something it can't provide.
is rigged, but rigged for you. Like you can
Yeah,
rig it for you.
I agree.
There's a lot of ways you can go about the stock market, and if you come into it thinking that it's gambling in the truest sense of the word, I mean, you're gonna be missing out on a good investment, literally.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, not to mention, we didn't even mention the fact that there are companies that make so much cash that they don't even know what to do with. They don't even know what to do with it. So you know what they do? They pay it out to their shareholders in the form of a cash dividend.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing of beauty right there. And another
Yes.
thing they can do if they don't want to pay it out in the form of cash, they can buy back shares. When they buy back shares, that moves the stock price higher. So they know there's less shares outstanding. But anyway, I'll shut up.
It's so weird. And there's so many different cryptocurrencies too. That's another
Yes.
fun thing. And they're just keep
Pretty
being made by the day.
pretty hilarious.
It's pretty gnarly.
Okay, I got I'm gonna do a thought of the week real quick and then we'll bounce up out of here.
Yeah, sounds good. Do you want to talk about you want to pay the bills a little real quick?
Oh,
You
where's
don't
my
have it, do you?
HomeBiotic? I don't have
No.
my yes, I don't have my prop with me. It must be in my master bathroom. But HomeBiotic is an amazing product. I don't have my prop, so I feel naked. I feel like I should be doing something else right now. Anyway, HomeBiotic is a product where it's got a bunch of soil-based organisms, bacteria, in this little suspension, and you can spray it on kind of high water areas or something you feel like might get moldy. And of course, after you dry it off and clean it appropriately, spray this on there to help make sure that mold's not going to grow because the bacteria can outcompete, right? There's just not enough space, and the bacteria is going to be able to grow a little quicker than that mold because you're kind of inoculating it with all these soil-based organisms. I use it myself all the time, literally every day. So yeah, I got a text earlier from a mutual friend of ours showing her HomeBiotic. She got some HomeBiotic, and I was
Nice.
like so excited. I was like, yes, such an amazing product. Like this is the most high. Like you're really, I don't know, makes me excited. People
Yeah,
are doing things for themselves and their family, and yeah,
it's good. We got a
we'll
link.
put a link in the description. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We got a question from a listener about HomeBiotic. She has an indoor plant and she sees a film on top of the soil after a while that's like mold. Can she use it on that? That was her
Yeah,
question.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I've seen a little video that says a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on that plant, probably not going to kill it. It's supposedly still okay to do that. So you can put that hydrogen peroxide in there, let it bubble up, let it do its thing, leave it for maybe 30 minutes, come back and yeah, go ahead and spray some HomeBiotic on there. I've done that and it's worked.
There you go.
So yeah, we've had these two snake plants that we have had a little bit of just like kind of white mold on there. I was like, it's not great.
Yeah.
So I made sure they weren't like too wet or anything like that, and then kind of cleaned them up a little bit and sprayed the HomeBiotic, and now they're not moldy. So it's pretty profound, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Great product.
There you
So
go.
yeah, to our listener with the question, there you go.
Thank you for the question. And
Yes,
yeah, check it out in the description. Go get yourself some
absolutely.
HomeBiotic and do it. Get healthy. Get healthy for yourself.
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
Very important.
All right.
You got a thought of the week for us, Sean?
Yeah, it's very possible I had this as a thought of the week at one point. So
That's
I
okay.
apologize if this is a repeat, but this is something that I was thinking about this week. I was thinking about how important family is. Just like making time with family, spending time with family, enjoying each other's time, putting aside differences to be with family and be just like unconditionally there for them. I was with a friend. We were staying with, some family that he doesn't spend that much time with. He was a cousin. And his cousin was just so happy that he was there. And he was so happy that he got to see family like pretty recently. And I was just like listening to the whole conversation. It just got me just thinking about how important it is to show up and how important it is to like, you're gonna have your disagreements. You're gonna have a lot of things that get in the way, but like, man, I'm so thankful that I have the family that I have. And I'm so thankful that, I try to make time with them as much as I can, both virtually and in person. And doing that made me want to go make more of an effort to reach out to some farther away family. Cause I don't know about you, but my family's like kind of all over the place. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about this week. Family's pretty important.
Yeah, it is. It is probably the most important. I think it becomes more important as you get older too. I don't know. I haven't lived those older years, but I can imagine it's just going to get each year that I live, it's going to become more important than the prior. And I don't know. I agree with you 100%.
Nothing would be worse.
I missed. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on what you're talking about as far as like getting old, I feel like nothing would be a worse feeling than like getting to an older age and having that realization. You know what I mean? So
I definitely feel like it happens to some people.
It definitely. What were you gonna say?
I agree so much that I made a mistake yesterday. We were supposed to have a meeting, and I was with my niece. She begged to come over and hang out and spend time with us. So of course, I'm a sucker. So I was like, of course, get your butt over here. So we're just hanging out, playing drums. We've got this. Oh my god, dude! We've got this little ring toss game. You know that ring toss game, bro?
Love that.
She's 4 years old. Quattro. You know how hard that is, right? You said it's a pretty hard game. It's like as hard as free throws. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't require as much effort, like strength, but
yeah,
it's like free throws.
A lot of There's a technique.
In probably like an 8-minute span, she got it 5 times, bro.
What?
I swear to God,
dude, she's gonna be a beast.
I know. We were kind of like showing her, and then she was trying to do it, but she's like too short. It's like still too high. So we got her a stool or like a little step stool thingy.
Yeah.
So she was able to stand on it, and she was just kind of like just throwing it. And then Kendall and I were there. And we're saying like, hey, slow it down. Trying to remember the goal is to hook this thing on this little, hook that little circle on that hook.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. So she tries it again, and it gets a little closer, and then she started to get focused. So we knew we could give her another tip, because if you give kids too much tips, they're like, what's
overwhelmed.
What's all this words? Like, ew, I don't want to do this anymore. So we just kind of let her do her thing, and then found another moment where we're like, okay, you got to kind of curve it a little bit, just, a little bit of an arc.
Yeah.
Dude, she was killing it. And then she would like miss it a bunch of times in a row, and she would get just a little bit frustrated, and we'd be like, no, it's all good. Nothing to get frustrated about. Just going to try again. And then she'd be like, like a couple minutes later, she'd be like, I'm not going to get mad. It's okay. Just
That's
go
so
for it again.
great.
Oh
That's
my
so great.
God, so
Wait, she get
wholesome.
like super excited when she got it too.
I mean, we were like losing our mind every time. I was like, "Let's go!" And then she's like, big eyes. She's like, "Ah," just like smiling. Doesn't know, you know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think she understood
hilarious.
how ridiculously awesome it was. I was losing my mind.
That's
Like I've
funny.
had grown adults over here trying for 20 minutes and get it once, 4-year-old
It's
just
pretty hard.
wrecking everybody.
It's pretty hard. The first
Yeah,
time I did it, I probably like chucked it at it. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
dude. That's a tough game.
Yeah.
You're getting
Dang,
pretty good though.
that's true. I don't know how many I got last time. 9 in a minute or something. 8 in a minute.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh, I broke my record yesterday. 15 in a minute now.
15 in a minute. All right.
15.
Need to
Previous record
show
was
up and
14.
challenge you. Need to get my
Yeah,
reps in.
do it. Do it this weekend.
That's right.
Anyway,
You got a thought of the week?
do I have a thought of the week? Man, I don't think I do. I
Okay.
do have this though. I do have this. I just want to read a comment from a listener, Nathan Marty, and it was here. It is. That's from 6 days ago on the Danger Coffee review, nootropics, and the best investment episode. So if you haven't seen episode 19, go ahead and look at episode 19. Drop us a comment on there. Thought of the week from Nathan Marty was, "You are not without other people." It's a quote. You are not without other people.
Was that the whole comment?
That is the whole comment. He has more words. You want me to read the rest of the words? But that's the whole thought of the week.
Mm. I I mean, it's
He said, "I think this sentiment was explored on some different levels from different perspectives in this episode. Definitely more levels and more perspectives to be explored. Maybe a future topic for discussion. I've been thinking about it in various ways, but no matter how you swing it, it's very profound," he says.
hmm.
So I see it definitely two ways, and I assume it's meant to be this way. You are not anything without other people being around, basically. So to be in isolation and to do the greatest thing ever is to not do anything at all. You know, what is the purpose if you can't share what you have with those you love and maybe those you maybe don't love?
Yeah.
Have to share what you have to share what you're doing, or else it is purposeless, is what this quote is saying. And then the other one is basically that you're never in isolation, and you need to embrace the fact and realize and be comforted by the fact that you're never in isolation,
That's where my head
and
was.
there are always other people, let's say, dealing with the same thing you're dealing with. Like there's someone else who had strep throat this week and felt like ass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's someone else who had that profound, like, dude, you can get 2 shots and just be good in 3 days. That's wild. you know
Yeah.
that was not a
Yeah.
unique experience that you had, probably. And then when someone's depressed or anxious or in a really bad spot, I don't know, dealing with addiction or something, in those moments of clarity, if you can think through that quote, like, basically, I'm not alone. I'm not isolated. I'm not without other people either feeling the same thing as me, have felt the same thing as me in the past, or are able to help me.
Yeah.
I am not alone.
Yeah.
Those are the two ways I take it.
The second one is how I took it. Like I just kind of heard it as like a lot of people will get caught up in their head and like anxious, and it's easy to think that you're like unique in that regard. Like your feelings are unique, and you can get like really frustrated and upset. But it's nice to know that like everybody is feeling some, to some degree of whatever you're feeling, or there's somebody exists with a similar or worse um, thing that you're going through.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think who was it? Mark? Is it Mark Norman who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck? I think that's who it was.
I think it's Mark Manson.
Mark Manson. That's what it
Yeah,
is. Who's Mark Norman? That sounds like a person.
uh,
Yeah, Mark Manson.
definitely a person.
Definitely a person. To all the Mark Normans out there, sorry, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Mark Manson. He touches on that in that book in a way that I think is pretty interesting, because if you look at most like self-help approaches to like getting people out of slumps or anxiety or depression or whatever it may be, it's always very uplifting. It's always very much like you know You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say this, or you got to journal these things, whatever it may be. And his approach is very much like, you're not special. You know what I mean? Which is a very interesting approach to it. It was very like a smack, like when I read it, it was like a smack in the face of like, dude, you are not special. Everybody is anxious right now. Everybody's anxious.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I
Yep.
thought that was a very interesting approach. And that's kind of what that quote made me think of. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like that aspect of it.
Yes. I think his book is pretty like nihilistic as well. Like it has a lot of nihilism woven into it to basically say like whatever is about to happen, like it does not matter. Whatever you're thinking matters does not matter. So do what you want to because it doesn't matter anyway. So
I'd
do what
say,
you
yeah, there
enjoy.
is a lot of that.
You know? How
Yeah.
about you just enjoy what you're doing, do what you enjoy, don't do the things you don't enjoy because guess what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, accumulate money if you want to, don't accumulate money if you want to. It doesn't matter. Be rich, don't be rich. Who cares? It doesn't matter. All the money
Yeah.
goes back to the game in the end anyway.
Hmm.
All the chips go back to the game.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Anyway, I think that's a very freeing thought. Kind of scary, but freeing. I have a thought of the week. This will be the last thing we do because we're kind of running late, but
Sounds good.
I want to say it the right way. Bro, I just forgot my thought of the week.
Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe.
It was there. It just had it. No, oh no.
Check us out on YouTube if you're on Spotify. And then go check us out on Spotify.
Bro, it's gone.
Dude, no way. That's funny. Oh wow.
I started thinking about how to say it and then it just ran
You
away.
just lost your thought of the week. It's okay. It's all right. Maybe it could be your thought.
What was I just talking
about?
I was talking about nihilism. I was talking about it doesn't matter.
It's scary. Like that thought is freeing but scary.
Oh,
yes. Is the last thing you said.
Dude, okay. I think one of the reasons, have you ever heard someone say, I can't meditate? You ever heard someone say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I think that is. Not that it matters that I analyze it, but maybe I can help someone the next time I hear this. I can't meditate. I think what that means is I'm so uncomfortable with being aware and living with my own thoughts that I'm just not going to dive into that realm. That's what I hear. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be way off, but that's just what I've been thinking this past week. Because I even experience it sometimes. If I'm like, I don't want to say hyper aware, but if I'm like very aware and then I slip out of awareness and I pull back in into like the present, it can kind of like jar me a little bit. It kind of like jostle me. I'm like, whoa. And I feel like weird for a little bit. I get like a little tiny like adrenaline rush. I'm like, oh God, am I good? All right, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely feel that. I think that's just me just being on the path of full monkey brain, like most of us are on a regular day, and then just kind of slowly transitioning to a little bit less monkey brain and like slipping in and out of being in the now unconsciously.
Yeah.
To choose to think about the future and to choose to think about the past, I don't think those are bad things, but unconsciously slipping from different reference points, the now, the future, the past, I think that can be jarring and scary for people.
It's cool when you can start to catch yourself in like outside of a meditate, like your traditional meditation practice, like catch yourself slipping into that and like catch yourself being unaware, and then you like bring yourself back to the present. And then it's also weirder when you're aware of the fact that you had done that. You know what I mean? Like
that's the uncomfortable part. You're like,
well,
I really am in the driver's seat.
Yeah. I remember I experienced that a lot this year, specifically when we were when I was marching. And I don't know why. I don't know what shifted. I think maybe I just like had a big focus on my meditation, spirituality during the week, that I wanted to make that be a thing. And then when I'm in rehearsal, that was like very stressful in a good way, but stressful moments because I wanted to be good. So in those moments, I remember there were times where I was just like, wanting to get emotional about something that was happening. And then like I would catch myself getting emotional and be like, it's okay, you don't have to do that. And then I'd be like, whoa, what? Did I just do that? It's such a weird thought. Like if you can get to that point,
So much power.
it's like it's so freeing. And it
Yes.
makes you realize like it also could be frustrating too in other parts when you can't catch yourself and you want to bring yourself to that
Yeah.
point.
Oh my God. That happened to me probably twice. If we're talking about the indoor season, I think that happened to me twice
Yeah.
throughout the indoor season. And like I'd come back to the room, I'm like, all right, didn't catch myself. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I should not have gotten that frustrated, but I
Yeah.
did,
It's
and it is what it is.
it's interesting. I don't know. Dude, my camera is so weird. It's like
It is.
I
It's being weird.
look like I'm in
Yeah.
like a horror movie. It's
Yeah.
really wacky. Oh well.
I
Well,
don't
if you're
know what's
watching
going.
us on YouTube, I'm gonna look like a ghost.
It's okay.
I think I think a lot of it is impatience too. Like people who can't meditate is just like I it's the discomfort, but it's also just the impatience of like we're so wired to have instant gratification that like that's one of those things where it doesn't feel instantly gratifying.
I would say that's one of the longest long games you can play
It is
because
definitely that.
I don't know. I'm not old and I'm not wise. I'm neither of those two things. So I'll say this with kind of confidence. I don't think
That's
there's an
good.
arrival point with meditation. I don't think there is an end game with meditation. Some people say the end game is death, right? I don't know if you've heard those
Or like
thoughts.
acceptance thereof.
Yeah, yeah, allowing and being okay with and letting go. Truly,
Yeah.
now you're free. You
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there is an arrival point though. It's the longest long game.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like I always I have a friend who I try to convince him to meditate like all the time. I think I always be like, dude, you should try to get into a meditation practice or something like that. He loves the gym, and that's the one I always go back to whenever he's like, dude, I try to do it, I just can't do it. And I was like, well, did you try to deadlift at 400 pounds the first time you deadlift? You know what I mean?
Ah,
Like, like you got to take baby steps. It's like, did you deadlift or did you squat for the first time and get massive thighs? No, like
no, yeah,
you gotta take your time. It's not like
man,
lifting in the sense that you're gonna have physical or like
no,
not even necessarily like you're gonna feel something afterwards, but like it's one of those things where if you're persistent on it, you're gonna realize when you're using the skills in real life when it happens.
no. I agree. Assuming you have a stimulating life, but
Right.
um, yeah, dude. Mostly everything you're just gonna fail. Like it's mostly anything that's really really worthwhile. It's mostly just failure, like over and over and over again. And then like
Yeah.
these little wins, and you're like, and they feel so big, but like 90+% of what you're doing is just failing, and that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like in meditation, you just have to start again. Oh, I lost it.
Start again is the
I'm not there anymore. Well,
yeah.
let's just start again. That was one failure. Oh, that might happen literally 100 times in a 5-minute meditation session.
Yeah.
There's some days, dude, trash. Like objectively, I'm like that was tough. But those are probably like the most amount of growth days.
Yeah, for sure. You start to
Anyway,
recognize your thought patterns too.
exactly. All right,
Shall we wrap it up?
wrap it up.
Awesome. Well, it's been your best friend's 21st episode.
Yes,
That's
dude.
right, baby.
We would cheers it if we could, but we can't.
We
We're
cannot.
virtual. So
Yes.
yeah. Also, I had the mermaid bottle opener
Oh yeah.
to open my
Nice.
bottle. Anyway, you want to take us out, Sean?
Yes. It has been your best friends. Thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're on Spotify. Go check us out. If you're listening to us on Spotify, come check us out on YouTube. Share it with your friends. All that good stuff.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing night.
See ya.